guys, it's Sarah. I know a lot of stuff has happened this past week regarding the drama and everything, but basically in the fandom, it's kind of been really quiet. So even though a whole bunch has not been really going on, here's the latest news that's been happening in the past couple days. So since the whole leaking of photos and the hacking of photos was such a big subject, people are still talking about it even today. So a lot of people are saying that the person who leaked Anne's photos, they said that these photos were already leaked, so they actually leaked photos. It says, we were tweeting the pictures that were already leaked but deleted. It says these leaked pictures were deleted recently. Oh, so you mean that you tweeted the pics that were deleted from the account who hacked Anne's iCloud? And they said yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but that just makes the whole situation even more confusing. Also, speaking of the leaked pictures, one of the pictures was Harry on the boat, and if you look at his wrist, you can see that he's wearing a rainbow wristband. Now, I didn't see this before because there was another picture of Harry on the boat, but it was a different angle and his wrist wasn't in the picture, so I didn't notice that he had a rainbow band on, but in this picture you can clearly see he is, and it just made me really happy. Also, another picture that surfaced from the boat was Harry next to Kendall and his arm around Jeff. So guys, this is why I think that Harry is not with Kendall, because the fact that Harry is laying right next to Kendall but he's putting his own arm around Jeff and then Jeff is holding Harry's hands, it just kind of proves that I think Harry is touchy with everybody. I think Harry's just really close with all of his friends. So it's funny, when the media sees Harry with a chick being touchy, they're like, oh, he's dating her, but then when they see Harry with a guy touching, they're like, oh, it's just friendship. It's a double standard. And I know Jeff is with Glenn, he's married, so it doesn't mean anything, but it's just proof that if Harry can touch that guy, I mean, why is it any different than if he touches Kendall? And these pictures are old because if you look at Kendall now, she has a different hairstyle. So I think all this bullshit is just in the past. Also, if you want some reassurance, a lot of people did polls on Twitter, and 73% people ship Larry, 27% ship Kendall, 43% people think Harry is bi, 29% think he's gay, and 28% think he's straight. I selected bi for Harry. There's another poll that said, do you think Anne was really hacked? And 41% said yes, and 59% said no. Because I think we all agree that the pictures were leaked and not really hacked, because it was planned. Also, the girl who was leaking the pictures is actually still leaking pictures, and I don't understand how she can, because don't you think that Harry's team of people would have shut that shit down? It says Harry Styles and his lawyers won't hesitate to sue a publication over false relationship reports and won't hesitate to get an injunction against Paps photographing him on his property. But a young woman hacks into his mother's iCloud and steals 500 pictures, leaking them over the course of 24 hours, but suddenly his lawyers aren't picking up the phone. And it says, I was born at night, but not last night. Yeah, I just don't really know why people think this is real, because the girl wouldn't be able to keep posting these leaked photos. Also, this post says, Harry has an injunction so Paps can't take pictures of him within 50 meters of his private house in London. He also has a public house in London he uses as a decoy for fans. He has a public house in LA he has never set foot on. He drives to lose fans that follow him when he's going to his private home. He spent weeks leaving and coming back to Jeff's house when he was being stalked daily so fans wouldn't know his address. And he sued Heat magazine for making up that he was dating a random person. Amount of times he has posted a selfie on his social media, 0. You can count with your fingers the amount of pictures he has posted of himself and his family. He deactivated his Facebook in August 2010, and he was the first of the boys to do so. He doesn't tweet personal stuff. When One Direction became popular, Harry switched his most uncapped handwriting for all caps, which hides personality better. He deflects when asked about his personal life so much interviewers get confused. But over 24 hours after someone allegedly hacked his mother's personal iCloud and leaked around 500 pictures, he has done nothing to stop it, and this person is still around. The hacker has been suspended on multiple accounts, but that's because fans report it. So that's what I'm thinking. If this was actually real and this was not planned, I'm sure Harry would have done something by now, or like it just would have been handled differently. I mean, I know Gemma has tweeted something about it, but she didn't outright say something about it. I think she said something really subtle. I mean, I don't know, maybe it doesn't have to be publicized all over Twitter by Harry's family. But the person was right. Harry never shares any of his personal information, and he almost seems uncomfortable doing it. So I know that if this was real, Harry would have definitely been really pissed about it. So it almost seemed like the whole family knew that this was gonna happen, and they're just kind of letting it do its thing. But like I always say, we don't know 100%. In other news, we got recent pictures of Louis, and in my opinion, he looks really good. And I'm saying this, it's because usually when we see Louis, he looks a little unkept, and he doesn't really look healthy. But in these pictures, his hair looks washed, he looks happy, the sun looks beautiful on him. Like, obviously you don't know how someone on the inside is feeling just because they look good on the outside, but he looks really good in these pictures. Yeah, apparently Louis is back in LA because someone showed this picture on Twitter of Louis in his car. He seems to move around a lot. I don't know why Louis goes to different places so often. Like, I thought he was in Utah a little bit ago and now he's in LA. Speaking about pictures of Louis, there was a recent picture of Louis and his baby Freddie, and it's of Louis kissing Freddie's face. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, this is Photoshop, you can tell in his neck or his face or the position of the baby. I didn't analyze it that much and I haven't looked at enough analysis posts about it. It could be fake, but I'm just gonna say it again, guys. How come every time Louis and Freddie post a picture, it's in black and white? Black and white hides a lot of detail in pictures to restrain people from knowing if it's fake or not. So usually when a picture is fake, some people do put it in black and white. And also, if Freddie was real, I think we would see more videos of it. It's weird how we're just getting these awkward pictures. I don't know, it's really shady to me. So I don't have much an opinion about this new Louis and Freddie photo, but if you guys do, put in the comments. Also, Jay recently tagged Louis in an Instagram post. She said, as predicted by Lottie, middle of the night eating, thank you, jet lag. And this post confused people even more because they really don't know where Louis actually is. Like, is he with his family? Is he not? And I think Louis does this on purpose. I mean, to be honest, if I was a celebrity, I wouldn't want people to know where I was 24/7 either. Okay, so there's this recent picture of Harry and he's on his computer, and people said that in the background you can see a figure that looks like Louis and it looks like his ear. So below, someone took a screenshot of Louis's ear and what that actually looks like, and then they compared it to the photo that was the one Harry was in, and they said it looked like the same ear. So someone was thinking that Louis was in the same room as Harry, maybe they were hanging out. I mean, it's hard to tell by an ear because how many forms of ears are there? And I feel like when I look at the pictures of Louis's actual ear and comparing it to the person in the photo of Harry, the ears don't really look that much alike. And even if they were identical, it doesn't mean it's Louis. But it's amazing how many times we've gotten this in the past. Like, we get photos of Harry and then we see like Louis somewhere in the background, or we get pictures of Louis and Harry's somewhere in the background, but it's only like a body part. It's ridiculous. I want new photos of Harry and Louis, like their full body in a picture. And lastly, Zayn just did a photo shoot and he was on the cover of a magazine called Complex. And it was really interesting to hear what Zayn said. I mean, we've already heard in the past about Zayn saying things like, oh, I was controlled and all that, so we've heard some things, but he went into more detail with this article. It says, in One Direction, you were cast as the mysterious one, the one in the shadows. How do you feel now being alone on stage? He says, in terms of me being described as the mysterious one, that was put on me as a stigma because I didn't get the chance to speak as much. The other boys' personalities were much more forward. They would answer the questions. I would let that happen because, like I said, I didn't have any creative input there. I didn't feel like I was going to say anything about it anyway. Now I get to talk about what I'm passionate about. It's nice to have the chance to speak. So it's not that Zayn wasn't allowed to speak, he just felt like he didn't have the input that everyone else wanted. He didn't have the creative input that the other boys might have had. Like, the other boys were more forward. So maybe Zayn wasn't as confident about putting his own opinion out there. I mean, as Zayn said, he couldn't even write the lyrics he wanted or do what he wanted. He didn't have that freedom. And this is the part that was the most interesting. It says, what type of restrictions? And Zayn said, mainly my beard, honestly. I wasn't allowed to keep it. Eventually, when I got older, I rebelled against it and decided to keep it anyway. That was just because I looked older than the rest of them. That's one of the things that is now quite cool. I get to keep my beard. I also wanted to dye my hair when I was in the band, but I wasn't allowed to. So I don't understand this. How come in a boy band, they're not allowed to dye their hair? Like, that doesn't really make sense. Like, I understand that employers don't want their employees to like dye their hair and have all these nose rings and all that because it's not professional. I mean, you'd think that if you were in a band, like, it's not like you're applying for a job at Price Chopper. I don't see why he wasn't allowed to dye his hair or have a beard. He said he looked older than the other boys and that's why he wasn't allowed to have the beard he had. But that does not make sense because Louis was in the band and Louis had a full kind of beard. So did Liam. To me, I thought Liam looked the oldest out of all of them. And so what if Zayn looked older? Like, are people worried that he's gonna like look like a terrorist or something? Because I hear a lot of terrorist jokes about Zayn and how, oh, he left the band to go to ISIS. But here's just one thing I'm really confused about. How come management lets Harry and Louis have beards, but Zayn isn't allowed to have a real beard? Like, you would think that this beard would be more acceptable than a fake girlfriend beard. So that sucks. Zayn couldn't dye his hair, he couldn't have the beard he wanted, he couldn't write the song lyrics he wanted, he couldn't say what he wanted. No wonder he left. I'm surprised Louis and Harry just didn't leave, but again, that would be terrible. The band would be over, because that'd be two people leaving. And again, I think Harry and Louis feel like the band and the career is more important than just thinking about themselves and their relationship. I think Louis and Harry did it for the band and not themselves. So what do you guys think about this whole Zayn situation and the whole leaking photo situations, or just anything I talked about? So put it down below. So like always, I make a video whenever I want, so like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Nobody can drag me down.